You don't even have to play with the other octaves. Just keep your hand in this little box that you've made. What's up guys, I'm Ijo and welcome back to the channel. So today's video has actually been a long time requested topic. Some of you guys have shown interest in the way I make my chord progressions and my chords, and you've been asking exactly how I do it. Well, this is the video where I'm gonna reveal my sauce. I know little to nothing about music theory, so I'm gonna try and explain this in the best way that I can. I know like the basics of music theory, and that's what helped me get as far as I have right now. And whatever limited knowledge that I do possess, it hasn't limited me from wanting to make whatever I wanted to make. So I can honestly say that it's working for me. Now before I start rambling on too much, let's just jump into the video. So like I said in the intro, I don't have the best knowledge of music or even piano. I taught myself how to play the piano, and whatever basic thing that I did teach myself, it has helped me create whatever song that I've wanted to create. Every single song that I've created in my song catalog has been made with my basic understanding and knowledge of the piano and music theory in general. So with that being said, this is what I do. I'm pretty sure you all know what a triad is. If you don't, a triad is the most basic form of a chord. It consists of 3 notes, the first, the third, and the fifth. So let's take C major for instance. It's the easiest scale. It's basically only the white keys, so it's pretty easy to learn and understand. This is the C major scale. That last note isn't really part of the scale, it's the octave. It's actually 7 notes: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then the octave C. A C major triad would be the first note C, the third note E, and the fifth note G. That is a C major triad. Now I'm just going to shift that over to the left side at a lower octave. That's a low octave C major triad. There's this concept called inversions. Inversions are basically taking a chord and rearranging the notes so that they contain the same notes but then in a different order. For example, the C major triad contains the C, E, and G. In that order, C, E, G. So what I do in my chord progressions is I basically take the second note, which is the E, and I raise it up an octave. So now it sounds like this. As opposed to the C major triad in its most basic form. Now this version of an inversion that I'm doing is also the most basic form of an inversion. I'm basically just taking the most basic chord, a triad, and inverting that into a basic inversion. It still consists of only 3 notes. Occasionally I might add a 4th note, but it's usually just the 3. And it has so many applications like this. Using just this chord, the C major, I'm just gonna keep playing the C major as an arpeggio and I'll come up with a melody with my right hand. It's a very basic nursery rhyme of a melody, but did you just see how easy it was? Now let's just use the other chords of the scale. Use that same triad idea. The first, the third, and the fifth. Go anywhere on the piano which contains the white keys and use that same pattern, and you'll always get a chord if you're on the C major scale. So when I'm playing my chords with my left hand, I only play the first and the fifth, the root note and the fifth note. That's all I play with the left. Even though I'm playing the root note and the fifth note over here, I don't have to play this. I can just play. See how easy it is and see how good it sounds? It's still only 3 notes, but then it sounds so much better and so much more professional and contains so much more emotion than the basic triad. You don't even have to play with the other octaves. Just keep your hand in this little box that you've made. This is exactly what I used to do when I first started out. I would find the root note and the 5th note on the right side. And then as I play the chords of that scale with my left hand, I would try to make a melody within this little space between the root note and the 5th note. My right hand wouldn't move. It would just stay in this one spot as I would try to come up with a melody. See how easy that is? That's basically it. That's my secret, I guess. It's not really much of a secret. I'm pretty sure it's been talked about before. Now using that, let's just come up with a chord progression and a melody. I don't think I'm gonna be making a full beat today. I don't know, maybe if I get in the mood, I'll do it. Let's just knock that down to about 65. And I'll make something using the C major scale just to show you guys that it works. And if that sounds like gospel music to some of you guys, that's because these type of chords and these type of inversions are used a lot in gospel music. Now let's make a melody using that little trick I taught you a while back. I'm going to keep my right hand on the root note and the 5th note of the scale. Now, using just those 5 notes, I'm going to come up with a melody. As you can see, I didn't go below the root note or above the 5th note. I just made this within the little box that I made, and I think it sounds pretty good. This whole idea of mine, or not idea of mine, but then this little trick that I use, it's basically the root note and the 5th note trick. I use the root note and the 5th note for a lot of things. I'm going to continue making this beat because something just popped up into my head. I am going to take a pad. You might know where this is going. This is a trick that I've been using for pretty much every single one of my videos. I use it on all my songs as well. So what am I going to do? Go to a new pattern. That's the root note. And that's the 5th note. And we'll just keep switching it up. I'll just invert the root note up and just do that. I'm just going to go back to Imagiro 2 and choose Piano 2 because this is a mono sound compared to the other piano sounds. And I'm just going to finish this up with a drum loop. I don't use drum loops, but then I just don't want to go through the trouble of making a full loop right now. Because I did say that I wasn't going to make a full beat and I did this much. So I deserve this much. If you want to know what drum sample pack that's from, it's from the Lo-Fi Sounds Dust and Dreams sample pack. I made something very basic, using basic chords, basic understanding of music theory, and a basic knowledge of the piano. It's that easy. With the trick that I just told you about, you can make the melodies and chord progressions just go hand in hand and fit each other like a glove. For me, it's so easy to make melodies when I'm using this particular formula. Over the years, I've just been expanding my little box that I've been doing with my right hand, and I've been using more octaves and more notes. But you can just start with the root note and the 5th note and try to make a melody with that first before you move on to the harder stuff. If you liked this video, if you learned a little something, leave a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.
you.